a big part of what I see when I look at your content online and I YouTube you, Kris Haskins Real Estate, I find a lot of subject to. So, the show is going to be titled today, Subject to Investing with Kris Haskins. But could you give me just an outline, give our listeners a guideline? What is a subject to deal? What does subject to mean?
Yeah, man, I appreciate you. Yeah, it's amazing when I talk to people that understand that it's so easy to talk to them, right? So subject to, all it is we're going in and we're going to take over the homeowner's debt, leave the loan in their name.
Okay.
However, the property will be transferred to our trust.
Okay.
So we buy the house, but we do not
pay off the loan.
The debt. Yeah, we keep the loan in place. Real simple.
So basically, take over payments arrangement.
Check, 1 2 1 2.
Turn it up.
Welcome to the Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast.
The tides are turning. The time is now.
Your home for the mindset, methodology, and tools needed to invest in foreclosures.
Don't you dare buy a house. Buy a deal. You need to get into this right now.
Yeah.
And now your host, the Foreclosure Deals Coach, Donny Corum.
Hello and welcome to the Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast. I am your host and Foreclosure Deals Coach, Donny Corum. We are recording live from our downtown Denver studios with my executive producer and all-out badass, Mr. Jonathan Winston. What's the haps, Jonathan?
Oh, man, I'm doing really well. I'm actually sitting here looking at my bar cart right now. It's getting fleshed out. I have, a nice assortment of libations and refreshments for when people come over. So I'm ready to entertain. Obviously, if you got the Rona, stay out of the crib. I don't need that in here. But if you're ladies, my bros who we can powwow and come up with some business ideas.
Right.
If you want to come over here and have a drink, hey, let's do it.
Yeah, so it sounds like you're using my show to pick up women. And
I'm you're the Foreclosure Deals Coach. Let me do my thing, man.
I'm totally cool with that. That's a good thing. Hey, listen, I'm super excited. I want to get to the show here because we have a guest today that's going to blow you away. And I got a quick background story, all right? So I'm buying a pickup truck for one of my contractors. I agreed if he hit a certain project deadline, I was going to buy him this truck. So I'm out shopping, and we find this pickup truck with Ronnie Haskins. And I go in and meet Ronnie. And if you don't know Ronnie, if you're a local listener to the show, you definitely know Ronnie. But if not, Ronnie's an incredible guy. And he introduces me to his brother, Kris Haskins. And he says, Kris has all this content on YouTube and is an incredible foreclosure investor. So we are super honored and privileged today to have Mr. Kris Haskins on the show today. Kris, how you doing, man?
What up, my friends? What up, my Denver homies?
Telling you, man, it's incredible. So where are you based out of, Kris?
I'm in the Virginia Beach area. It's called Hampton, Virginia.
Okay, all right. And obviously, you sent me a little background profile. You've been investing a very long time. Well, when did you get started in the biz?
I don't know, man. But let me rewind real quick. Before I get into me, guys, you guys are doing some unbelievable things. Thank you so much for having me on here. It's an honor.
Well, thank you for coming. It's absolutely huge, man. It's good to have. We're getting a lot of great co-host guests on here, or incredible players in the foreclosure, wholesaling, real estate investing marketplace. So, Kris, kudos to you. If you haven't looked your stuff up yet out there, guys, that's Kris spelled Kris Haskins. Check out his YouTube stuff. It's all great. Some of it's very funny. I encourage you to watch the video about an eviction. We're going to go over that in detail a little bit later. But Kris, what's going on in the investment world right now with you, man? What are you specializing in? What's keeping you going in that space?
Before I forget, you got to let me at least ask Don. I mean, how do you meet women nowadays? I mean, you can't go up to them.
Well, okay. See, Donnie, this is real, man. This is like I appreciate the alley-oop, Kris.
I wanted to know. I don't know. I'm married, so
I might get on a little dating app, maybe like a Bumble or something like Tinder. There's a certain thing that you have to prepare yourself for when you're perusing these apps. But so I'll do something like that, or I enjoy.
But you get the virus. I mean, you can't meet. I'm a face in the face guy.
Yeah, and see that's my thing too. So now that the bars and things are opening up a little bit more, I've been able to kind of go out and have some face-to-face interactions. I met a couple of really nice-looking twins the other day.
Wow!
And I got a number or whatever. So
two numbers.
See, I'm just gonna I'm not gonna have too much expectations. I'm just gonna stick with one right now, and let's just see how that goes.
All right.
So there's just a little bit of everything. I'm kind of equal opportunity, and I'm pretty engaging and can start up a conversation. So it doesn't usually take too much to meet somebody if I want.
Let me ask you, and shoot straight with me. Do you use the real estate investing thing to pick up girls? Like, I mean, are you out there saying, "Yo, girl, I'm a real estate investor. I buy houses and stuff"?
No, see,
brought up in the topic of conversation.
I'm growing in that space. I'm looking to grow. That's why I'm around great guys like Donny and Kris to help me step up in that. But I also make music and do things like that. So that's. If I have to pull something out of the bag, I usually kind of, lean back on that. Yeah, let me sing a weekend song to you. Oh, what? I've heard that. I can write a song about you right now. That'd be great. It all just works out.
Look what you started, Kris. Look what you started.
I'm so sorry. I had to get that out of my system. I think about single people during the crisis. I'm like, how the hell you talk to a lady? You can't talk. You got a mask on. Anyway.
Online dating, they're doing straight up online dates where you just you do the date over Zoom now, and the dating sites are hooking you up with a temporary Zoom account. Do your dating completely virtually. It's incredible.
All right. I'll leave you alone. So real estate market's booming. We put a house on the market the other day. We got 3 offers. One was 10,000 over. I can only presume Denver's booming as well with the weed coming up there.
Yes, sir. It's incredible. What's your price point out there in Virginia? Like, what do you buy at? What do you look to buy at if you're flipping? What do you sell at? What's your target?
Yeah, well, we do a lot of building too. So if you would have asked me this 4 years ago, I was buying between 50 to 70 to 80,000 and selling between 140 to 170.
Okay.
Recently, I'm buying, or my new cons were buying around 40 and selling around 300, and if we have to, my rentals now we're paying 150 for them and selling them for 250 and up.
That's incredible. And how many rentals are you managing now?
We manage a handful. I don't usually disclose, but I manage a little under 20. So
okay, that's cool. Look, I mean, obviously you've got quite a rental empire, doing new construction, you're doing flipping. A big part of what I see when I look at your content online and I YouTube you, Kris Haskins Real Estate, I find a lot of subject to. So, the show is going to be titled today, Subject to Investing with Kris Haskins. But could you give me just an outline, give our listeners a guideline? What is a subject to deal? What does subject to mean?
Yeah, man, I appreciate you. Yeah, it's amazing when I talk to people that understand that it's so easy to talk to them, right? So subject to, all it is we're going in and we're going to take over the homeowner's debt, leave the loan in their name.
Okay.
However, the property will be transferred to our trust.
Okay.
So we buy the house, but we do not
pay off the loan.
The debt. Yeah, we keep the loan in place. Real simple.
So basically, take over payments arrangement, right? And obviously,
payments.
But it sounds easy because it's a much easier way of investing when you talk about the capital requirements for doing a subject to deal. But the question I think people always ask is why, Kris? Why would somebody let you walk in and get the deed to their property and not pay off the loan? Why does anybody do that?
I love it. They got to be crazy, right?
Right. I mean, that's what I'm thinking a little bit.
They got to be crazy. Why would you mean I'm going to sell you my house and leave this $150,000 loan in my name? You crazy.
Crazy.
The reason is, they don't have any other option.
Right.
That's why they do it. We come in and we sweet talk, and we have some magic words that if you want to get for your listeners, they can go to KrisHaskins.com. I have a full negotiating audio walking you step by step inside of a home of a seller doing it. But yeah, man, usually they don't. Nobody. How about you, Donnie? I've never walked into a house and said the seller just come up to say, you know what? I want to leave the house in my name. I want to leave the loan in my name, but you're going to buy my house. No one actually wants to do it.
No one does. I think the reality, you nailed it. It's somebody who's motivated enough that they have no other option. Now, I want you to hear motivated over desperate, right? Because we're not here to take advantage of anybody, right? Mm-hmm. This is subject to, if somebody gets you take over the payments on their house, they're usually close to foreclosure, right? There's got to be a reason why they're doing it. They can lose the house, and foreclosure is much worse for them than you taking over the payments, right?
There you go. Or much worse, or like we buy a lot of them from sellers that have moved on to the afterlife. Okay. So the family doesn't even care. I mean, they're like,
just going out.
Your home was in grandma's name. The loan was in grandma's name. You're going to give me $5,000? I'll take it.
Right. Right. So you got to do the paperwork correctly. That's so important. And I know you have a course on your site. I saw that where you have all the subject to paperwork so you can make sure to do this right. You're still closing largely at the title company, Kris. Do you do title company closings with subject to or just tabletop?
I've done a few tabletops in my lifetime. I don't want none of my listeners doing that stuff. I feel like I was just doing that because my mentors were doing it.
Yep. I feel the same.
I have bought them, but those are the houses. When I buy them tabletop, I don't even care if it's like they're leaving town.
Right.
It's like
they just want to they're just out. They're out. Like mentally, physically, they're just out. Right. When they do it. So you're doing an actual title company closing. You're getting a deed of trust. You said you put it in a trust. And that's super important because you also offer a course on land trusts, which it's funny because you mentioned, Denver being a hot city, but one of my mentors, a guy that trained me from years ago, is Mr. Bill Bronchick. How did you go about meeting Bill?
Oh, that's my dog. It's right. He's right there.
Yeah, he's right off the street from me, actually.
Right around the street in Aurora.
Yep, that's right here. Bill is, what up, Bill? Shout outs to Bill. He came to Hampton Roads back in 2000 when I first started in 5. His little grumpy little self walked in. I'm like, who is this little smurf looking guy? Who is this guy?
He is that.
But I quickly found out he was the man. I'm like, okay, this dude knows what he's doing.
Yeah, inside and out. Bill's awesome. We're actually going to have him on the show as well. So definitely shout out to Bill. Hopefully he's listening now, and we're excited to have him on the show as well. So you get the right contracts. You take it to the title company. You're closing. Obviously, you know what the payments are before you're subject to engagement, and you're agreeing to make that payment. Now, from the seller perspective, they got to put a lot of trust in the guy who agrees to make that payment. And obviously, you being a veteran, that's never been a problem. But have you heard cases of subject to with rookie investors who did not fulfill their part of the obligation and make those payments?
Yeah, matter of fact, I dealt with one last week. Somebody called me a seller. Check this out, Donnie. They sold the house to the guy.
Okay.
And he stopped making the payments, and they're talking about where we want to foreclose on him. And I'm like, okay, well, where's your rap note? They're like, rap what? I mean, you can't foreclose on somebody unless you have an instrument that allows you to do it, So,
correct. So what did they do? What was
I had to let them go. Yeah, nothing. You can't get your house back. You can't get it back. Matter of fact, I called Bill on that one.
Okay.
Can't get it back. Yeah, and unfortunately, it does happen. If you can't make the payments around, your listeners, just give them the house back. Don't sit there with the person's deed.
Absolutely. Thank you for saying that, Kris, because it's so valid. At the end of the day, you're signing, this is a trust-based agreement, okay? We've already noted that somebody who's doing this is either a little crazy or a little desperate or a lot motivated or all of the above, right? So don't take advantage of people, right? That's the problem with the real estate investor world is you have these bad stories of people who are out there looking to do their first deal but get in over their head or maybe never intended to make the payments at all. All we ask as listeners, right, as fellow real estate investors, is don't be that guy or gal. Right? Do the right thing. Keep your word. If you're going to take over subject to, you make the payments. All right, so we've got the subject to part done. You've closed with the title company or tabletop, though as Kris mentioned, prefer to use a title company because you want to make sure you got that legit. You're making the payments. Everything is going well. What's next, Kris? What's the exit strategy on the subject to? Do you have a general theme or do you kind of case by case? What's your preference on that?
Yeah, I would prefer to keep them all till I go to the grave, but some of them we have to flip. And actually one I moved into, we'll just move right into it if it's something that I really like.
I love that. So
we'll hold on to them. Ron LeGrand told me, he says, Kris, the longer you hold on to the property, the more money you'll make.
Right.
Really. So we try to keep them as much as we can. We hold on to them, and I prefer not to do a regular rental. We do a lease options where the tenant comes in and takes care of all the repairs.
Yeah, and we could definitely do an entire show on lease options. I mean, definitely explore that a little bit. But the basics on lease options, Kris, it's just somebody who's buying the property with leasing the property with an option to purchase it, right? So you're just kind of defining the purchase price up front.
There you go, brother. My life got so much infinitely easier and better, I might add, when I stopped doing repairs to rental properties.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
You say that to a new investor, they're like, what do you mean you don't have to do repairs to rental property? How do you mean? That doesn't even compute in my head.
Well, it's called a lease option, and the idea behind it is pretty simple. You're selling the property on terms. So instead of being the landlord, you're the bank, And the neat thing is the seller, when you bought this property subject to, is acting as the bank for you.
Yeah.
And now you're acting as the bank for this lease option tenant. It's an incredible opportunity for people who can't qualify to buy a home conventionally, but want to secure their purchase price. And if you're doing that with subject to financing, this is like an infinite money machine.
There
right?
you go. There you go, brother. You can pass on as long as if you can in your mind. I know I've heard a guy say you have to compartmentalize this stuff. Money goes in one compartment, and Donnie, as you know, real estate goes in another one. We have mixed the two together, but you can pass on just like banks sell loans to different lenders all the time without your permission.
Yes.
We sell the house all the time with or without the bank's permission, or we can sell you the financing too. So much different ways you can flip it back and forth, left, right, up, down, sideways. You can make money in real estate.
And that's what's incredible about this. And guys, as a listener to Foreclosure Deals Coach, you're on here to learn about investing secrets, how to get started. We talk a lot about foreclosures. So just want to tie that in a little bit, Kris. How do foreclosures tie in to doing this subject to thing? Obviously, a pure foreclosure is bank owned. So they're not trying to talk to you about taking over payments. But how often are the people you do subject to? As you mentioned, a lot of them you get from people who have passed on. But do you deal with a lot of people who are selling subject to because they're close to or in foreclosure?
Yeah, all the time. You know, with the COVID thing, it's changed a little bit. People aren't as motivated today. They know it's coming.
Yes.
They know it's coming. So I think our strategy is changing regarding just continuing to follow up.
Sure.
But yes, we do. It's still, I mean, like at the end of the day, if you're unemployed, that payment's coming. You're going to have to either do, my thing is you got to do something or nothing. And I always tell people, look, you don't have to do anything. It will figure itself out.
That's right. You're going to be homeless, but that'll figure itself out. When they're changing the locks, like your eviction video, when they're there to get your stuff, it is going to figure itself out.
It will.
But it might be better to be proactive.
There you go, Don. Just be a little proactive. But you know what? I can't blame homeowners because I had a good friend that lost millions of dollars of real estate, and they just get emotional.
Yes.
And I've been there. I've lost several houses to foreclosure, and it's emotional when you're in it.
Yes. And I want to kudos to you for saying that, Kris, because you meet these superstars of real estate like yourself, and there's this general mindset that they don't face the struggles that I have. They've never experienced foreclosure. But we've been through this stuff, right? You've lost house foreclosure. I've lost house foreclosure. It happens. It's not a life sentence, right?
No.
It's, what do you do about it? How do you move forward?
How do you get over it, right? You got to get over it. Either you're going to be wallow around forever or you pick yourself up and move forward.
That's right. That's right. So here you are. You've got the property. You've wrapped it up with subject to financing. You've now found a lease option tenant. You put that tenant in there. That lease option guy, he's coming in. He's typically giving you a down payment. Do you have a percentage you go after for the down payment on the lease option side?
Not really. We try to get 3 to 5%. Around here, there's not a lot of dollars floating around in the under $150,000 price range.
Roger. Okay.
So we try to get 3 to 5,000 if we can, but around here I tell you, my area, the median income is 40,000. It's terrible.
Wow.
Terrible. So we get 3 to 4,000, 3 to 5. I'm good. I just move on.
Yeah, but that's money you're keeping either way, right? Because you're taking that money, and part of the contingency with the lease option is, at least on mine, that it's non-refundable.
There you go.
It applies towards the property if you buy it. But if you don't ultimately get the financing, that money is just money you get to pocket, right, Kris?
All of them, yeah. Unfortunately, I will say I've had one client in my year since 2004 exercise an option for a buyer.
Okay.
I have yet to experience that. I have yet to have that experience in my life, Donnie.
They've never exercised, or they've never not exercised?
They've never exercised. I've got a coaching client that did it one time, that had a buyer, but I've never seen it happen, Donnie. How about you?
I would tell you that we were running. It's funny you bring that up, because a lot of people are, well, it's going to be great when they exercise. I go, my experience is 1 out of 3. We had 56% ended up not exercising their option, but 1 out of 3 did actually exercise the option.
Hi, this is Donnie Corum, your foreclosure deals coach. It's important to have good credit when you're buying a foreclosure. A lot of people think you can come in with bad credit, but the fact of the matter is you need pretty stable credit scores to buy a foreclosure deal. So how do you find out how to increase your credit? Well, there's tons of credit repair agencies out there and multiple formulas, but one thing we found that works is reporting your monthly rental payment to the credit bureau. We've partnered with rentreporters.com, the leading provider of adding your payment history direct from your landlord onto your credit bureau scores, and it helping people to boost their scores up to 40 points in as little as 30 days. So to get started, I want you to head on out to www.foreclosuredealscoach.com. Now that's a messenger bot, and you're going to use the keyword rent to get more information about Rent Reporters and how you can boost your credit score by getting your rental reported to the credit bureaus. Once again, Donny Corum, your foreclosure deals coach. Check it out.
Holy cow. Are you helping them, or they're doing that on their own recognizance?
We really tried to help, but you can always put the horse to water, right? At the end of the day, it's like we encourage them to do credit repair, right? So we put them in that right away. We worked on all the processes because I don't want that house back. I don't know about you, but the goal was to help them to own it. That's why we did the whole lease option process. We're in subject to financing like you're talking about. So I'm using other people's financing on this deal. I want to help these people buy it out, right?
That's true.
People with bad habits financially don't tend to end those bad habits just because they're in a lease option.
That is a great point, Donny. And you're a good guy for helping people. My help stops. Yeah. Help stops.
Not the down payment.
Yeah, my help stopped. That's it.
It was nice.
Matter of fact, after this day, do not. My mentor is like, Kris, when we sign the paperwork, we say, listen, if something breaks, don't call us.
Don't call us.
Electricity gets broken, don't call us. You got a hole here, don't call us. We're a bank.
That's right.
So, I mean, everybody's different. And, I don't think either one is right or wrong, good or bad. They're just different.
The point is we're providing an opportunity, and we go back into whether you're on the investing side and the fact that you're doing deals and producing an income for your family, or you're on the flip side of that where you're helping a family to move into a home that they could qualify for as part of their lease option. You're still in the process of helping people, So you ultimately did help people. You gave an opportunity to do that,
There you go.
If you've got a house, where do you locate these subject to deals? Like, how do you find a guy willing to let you take over payments on his home? Because it just seems like that would be kind of cool. How do you locate that person?
That's a good question. I still do pre-foreclosure stuff. We've got some skip tracing stuff with that, as well as, I'm telling you, man, this social media is just taking over the world.
It is.
It is. You know, social media.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I see a lot of my deals on Facebook right now. I'd say most of them are coming from Facebook.
I'm telling you, brother, if you ain't on Facebook, you might as well just be on nothing in the next few. I used to be direct mail.
Yep.
Spending all this capital and take a week to find. I mean, you can cut Facebook on and you get leads tomorrow.
That's right. That's right. Where would you recommend as far as putting the ads up? I know you have a subject to course. Does your course go into the advertising process of getting the subject to?
No, the subject to. Matter of fact, mine is not a course. I offer my friend build stuff on my site, but all I do is give you the docs. I do have a company that we partnered up with if you want to have the entire process run, because I'm not a Facebook guy. I just hire people to do that stuff. So I got a company now, Donnie. They just run it all and they just send me a bill.
I love that. Do you want to share that here? Tell people where to go? Are they taking more clients?
Yeah, just go to my website, click right on it. If you go to, it's all built into the website. If you go to Kris Haskins, just go to coaching and training and you click on it and we'll get you. Matter of fact, what happens is you come on, you book a call. We will literally take an hour to talk to you. I've never seen a company do this. They'll talk to you to see exactly how they can help you. And then based on what you talk about, what your budget is, and if we get you hooked all up. But yeah, you got to get some type of, so if you just go to the site, coaching, training, click on the link, and we'll book a call. Shoot, why not? I got these guys. If you can imagine the geek squad for Best Buy.
Yep.
That's how I like to call these dudes. They can't even. All they do is crunch numbers all day.
Yeah, you got to have those kind of people on your team, though. You got to know your strengths, right? And obviously, you're a master negotiator. You've been doing this a long time. I've watched your videos. You got that talent and skill set and the gift of gab. But you said my forte is not Facebook, so you hired that out, right? And you want to focus on what you're good at and hire out the other stuff. And here's the thing: when you're getting started, that may not be an option. Maybe you got to do a little to get going. But how big is your team now, Kris? How many people do you work with day to day on your team?
I say about 5. I got 2 guys on the rehab side. I used to manage all my rehabs.
Okay.
I'm like, you know what, dude?
That ain't worth it.
I'm not mad at nobody that's managing, because I'm like, you better have somebody there every day.
That's right.
that knows what the hell they're doing. If not, man, they close up a wall, they do the wall incorrectly. You got to rip it out. So the story goes.
Right.
You got to know this stuff, but you've got people working with you. I like to take on people that know what the hell they're doing. Like putting, now in my life, I'm like, the money is the most simplest part of the business. Putting up to get the money to buy a house is nothing.
That's right.
When you get
to stage. When you get to your stage, that's the case, because the deals, I tell people all the time, the wholesaling world, if there's a good deal, the money finds the deal every time.
Oh, yeah. There you go. That's a great point, Donnie.
If you don't have a good deal, if you're out there, you can't figure out why you can't get this wholesale deal with a $15,000 spread funded, it's because it's not a deal. Right?
Great point. Yeah. You got to learn how to make money. In this business, for your listeners, you got to learn how to make money without money before you try to make money with money. That's just, you got to learn it.
Absolutely. Because if you can make money with no money, you can make money with lots of money. Right?
There you go.
The opposite doesn't work. If you got a ton of money to get started, I can't tell you how many people I've seen got wiped out. They had a bunch of bankroll to get going, but because they didn't employ the practices of somebody who didn't have money, they made a lot of mistakes along the way, right?
Practices and principles. That's right.
So if you're broke, be encouraged. Be encouraged by the fact that you can start by just hopping on and going to your videos, Kris. There's so much. You give so much content out there. It's staggering to me how much you're giving away right now. What motivates you to do that, man? Why are you so giving on the education side?
That's a good question, man. I don't get asked that a lot. It's so weird, man. I'm giving so much. I don't get an opportunity to ever do that stuff. But yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with Patrick Bet-David, right? So when I met him a few weeks back, I got a chance to hang out with him. Dude has over 200 million views, 2 million subscribers. Big entrepreneur, right? So he goes, you know what? I started talking, and then I found what he tells me. He goes, Kris, when I started talking years ago, I found out that there was a lot of Patrick Bet-Davids out there. And that's the same thing for me. When I started just talking, I one day I just said, you know what? Let me tell the world what it is that I have found out since 2004 about real estate. There is a world that exists where you don't have to go get a realtor and go suck up to a bank to buy a house and turn in your tax returns and have a credit score that's immaculate and have a financial record and all that crap. This world really does exist, and people that look like me don't know about it. So let me share the message to the world. I'm just a messenger.
It's such a blessing, Kris. It's an incredible blessing. And it's an honor to have you, just to talk to you about that, because I feel very much the same where, and you mentioned people who look like us. The information it's hard to find in general, but when you get to a certain part of our culture, there's this belief system built in that we're somehow excluded from this, right?
That's right.
We shouldn't have access to these things. These things are out there. And everybody who comes to me and says, I want to get started investing and I don't know what to do, I tell them, go to YouTube, go to Facebook, get educated, because there's a ton of free education out there, right?
Good stuff out there too, man. I don't think your viewers know, your listeners have any clue. When did you get started, Donnie?
I got started in 2005 was my first deal. So I've been in the game for about 15 years myself. Just a little out for you.
So you and me, we are dinosaurs. So when we got started, dude, there was no, it wasn't even the internet. I mean, you could barely pull comps online.
Right. And now the tools are out there. Do you use an evaluation tool? Are you on the MLS, or how do you evaluate your properties? What do you do for that?
I got a broker. We got a thing, and then I got Propstream and all that stuff. But we go right to the MLS. No big deal with that.
Yeah, we're a big proponent on the show of Propstream, because a lot of people who don't have MLS access or don't have those agent relationships. Just a quick segue once again, foreclosuredealscoach.com/Propstream. You get a free 7-day trial of the software and try it out. And when you sign up, one of the things that I like to give back, Kris, is I'll do a 15-minute demo of the software. We'll evaluate one property. About 15 minutes of evaluation, so you can get a feel for how the software works. So definitely take advantage of that. But the point is there's so many free resources out there that getting started is more about mindset. And that's what I love. This show started out a real subject to thing and talking about that. But what I love talking to you about, Kris, is the mindset pieces that people have to be successful in anything, but particularly in real estate, right? Well, what do you think the challenges are to mindset? Where does that come from? Why people have so much trouble getting started? Where does that mindset problem source from?
Yeah, two things. Ron LeGrand told me, I hate to keep bringing him up, but I'm honored to have the man's cell phone. You know, I just cannot believe that. You know, the more millionaires I have in my phone, the richer I get. You know, so
Amen to that.
Wow.
when I was hanging out with
That's a
him,
great statement right there. I want to remember that one.
I'm telling you,
Millionaires in my phone.
John, I don't know how many you have, but I promise you, when I started getting all these rich people numbers in my phone, it's like my bank account got bigger. I don't know why it works like that.
Well, it's just who you're connected to. You know,
What'd you say?
It's who you're connected to, right? It just, even if you're not talking to Ron Daly, the fact that you've got access to that amount of information,
Oh my Lord.
it helps you, you know?
There's two things he told me. He said, Kris, it's not your fault that your viewers may be broke, because when we're born, we come out of the womb into the arms of a broke nurse.
Mm-hmm.
We then go home with broke parents. Those broke parents take us to a daycare with broke people that are going to watch us during the day. We then go to church with broke people in the pews. Then we go to school and we're taught by broke teachers and professors. And then we go get a job working with broke people. So it's not necessarily our fault. So that's all we know. The second thing was either you're consistent. This Ron didn't give me this one, but either you're consistent or you're non-existent. You got to be consistent in this thing, man. If you're not, at least, you know, just looking at it, it doesn't take a lot. Just do it consistently.
That's amazing. It's so true. Like, if you're going to cold call every day, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to drive for dollars every single day.
There you
If
go.
you're going to prospect on Facebook groups, you got to go on those Facebook groups each and every single day, because consistency breeds results.
There you
right?
go. There you
And
go.
the education piece. If you dabble in real estate, if you watch a Kris Haskins video and then you wait 3 months before you watch the next Kris Haskins video, you're doing yourself a disservice. You know?
Mm-hmm. You got to know what's going on.
I like my binge listeners. I like the listeners that pick up one show and then listen to the other 40 episodes all in one thing. Because you want to get that, and you want to ingest that fast, because consistency breeds results.
That's right. That's right, brother.
So, Kris, we're getting pretty close to the end here. What messages would you share? A lot of my listeners are first-time investors. They're trying to get started in the industry. Obviously, they better head out right now to your YouTube channel, Kris Haskins, and check that out. Go to your website. But where would you get started in all of your amazing content out there? Do you have a favorite video or piece that you think people should start their journey in investing with you?
Yeah, I do have one that's got 500,000 views. I think it's called My 11 Biggest Mistakes in My First Year as a Real Estate Investor.
Oh, I love that.
That was the video that really started my career. And I didn't even do it till 2017, Donnie.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, we'll post that in the show notes, so we'll find that one and get that out there so they can see it.
Yeah, we can. That one. But yeah, the thing is, you're going to make mistakes. If you just turn this thing around, the vantage point, if you look at it like, I will make mistakes instead of I don't want to make mistakes, this makes your life easier.
Amen. You know, fail forward fast. You know, and you know, this show, Kris, the essence of the show is the mindset, methodology, and tools to be a successful foreclosure investor.
Nice.
But the biggest piece of this really is, in my opinion, I'm sure you agree, it is the mindset of all the things you got to do, right? Because if your head ain't right, then the rest of it's not going to work.
You just ain't gonna make no money. And even if you do, Donnie, I know people may make so much money, but then they still broke.
Right.
So yeah.
Wow. Wow.
The mindset didn't change, right? Your pocketbook might have changed, but if you're still acting like a broke person, you're gonna get broke.
Done.
You know.
Done. I had a guy call me the other day. He said, "Kris, I made $100,000 this year. What do I do?" I'm like, "Man, you're gonna learn how to dude, earning money." I will say this. I gotta say this, Donnie. Earning money, I want your listeners to know, has nothing to do with managing it. They are two different skills. They require development. You got to know how to manage it. Earning it is the easiest part.
Yes. God, that is such poignant data, you know, because making money is not the tough part in this business. Like, if we just being able to go get a property, take over payments on it, have virtually nothing out of pocket, and either turn it into a cash flowing rental or flip that property just by making the introduction. So your excuse can't be, I don't have any money. It's when you start making money, what are you going to do with that money?
There you go. There you
How much
go.
do you spend on reinvesting, Kris, into the business from a marketing perspective? How much do you put back in? Do you have a percentage on that? A dollar figure reference there?
It's in the thousands a month. It's high. It's
Sure.
high. Yeah. Education, on myself. I didn't blow up until I started educating myself, though, man. And like just hanging around the right people. And, you know, if you'll just watch my life from 2004 to 17, nobody knew who the hell Kris Haskins was.
Right.
July 2017 on, I mean, I can tell you exactly what I did, man. I just blew up, dude. My life just went crazy.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Dude, we are so blessed, brother. I mean, you know, it's just an honor. But it's all about yourself. Stop looking outward and look inward.
I love that. I love
Kris, I'm just gonna say it, man. You've dropped so many gems in this episode today and really it's just, you know, I feel like once you get that opportunity to kind of talk with people that are along the same mindset, like you were saying before, hanging around and being around people that are moving forward, like this stuff just seems to kind of like flow out.
Mm-hmm.
So again, like I was saying at the beginning of the episode, being around Donny and being, you know, having access and meeting people like you is just continuing to help me to grow. So
Nice.
I'm encouraged, and I want our listeners to be encouraged as well, and to know that, you know, just because you're starting off doesn't mean you're that far away. If you maintain the right practices, do, like you said, be consistent and put yourself around the right people.
There you go.
Hey, let's wrap this thing up, guys. Kris, I want to thank you for being on the show. How can my listeners get in touch with you? Like, what's the best way to contact you or get more access to your content?
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, I don't know. I try to keep myself thinking young. I'm on this Insta craziness, and I still do Facebook too. But if you go to YouTube and you just comment on a video, or to KrisHaskins.com and just hit the contact us, that's the fastest way, being that we get a million things every day. You know, we're thankful to get them. But yeah, but the best way to do it, go to YouTube, comment on a video. Hey, Kris, what up? I just saw this video. I got a question or something like that.
And if y'all would do me a huge favor, now that Kris is taking the time to educate y'all, if you could go out there, grab one of Kris Haskins' videos and just say, I heard you on the Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast. I just want to thank you for the content, because Kris, really, like Jonathan just said, you can't tell because it's a podcast, but I am grinning ear to ear right now. It's just such an honor to get somebody as focused on mindset as you are, my brother. And I really, really appreciate you taking the time out. I hope others will benefit from this. I'm certain they will. If they just take those first steps, go check out your content. And obviously, I know you have some paid programs and some coaching. Just, you can check out the Kris Haskins site out there. And if you see something that you know is going to elevate you to the next status, make that investment in your education piece. That's going to pay off dividends for years to come, just knowing what you got to do. Yep. So any parting words, Kris? Anything you want to leave us with today?
Parting words to my Donny. Does your broadcast have a name? What is the name? You are the foreclosure guy.
Foreclosure Deals Coach is the podcast. Yeah.
Foreclosure. Let me start that over. You can cut that. Parting words for my Foreclosure Deals Coach family. Man, that would be cool. You can cut that out too. I got some dead space there.
No worries.
Oh, y'all know. Stay connected to people like Donny and John. Stay connected to people like that. Go to your RIA. Even if they're not people there, like for me, when I first went to my RIA, which I was later voted the vice president, and then they asked me to resign. Go down there and just get to know people. I know it's hard. People don't want to get to know people nowadays, everybody. And even it's worse now with this virus. Get connected with some people that are going to challenge your thinking. This guy, I got an email last week. The guy goes, I think this next thing could do 10 million. You know, I had not even been thinking about that, but the people you hang around, if you get around the right people, they will magnetize your brain to bring you up or down.
That's right. It can be determined either way. Hey, with that, we're going to wrap up. Hey, guys, I want to thank you for being part of the show. Kris Haskins, once again, I say this a lot, but maybe the best episode we've done. Just incredible to spend time with you, man. I hope we get to do more of this. Would love to have you back on the show down the road. If you're so inclined, man, just kind of keep this thing going. And, for you listeners out there, mindset's so important. But as Kris just said, hooking up with the right people to help angle that mindset will make all the difference in the world. So get out there, get educated. Don't let your culture, your background, your education, your finances determine your financial future in real estate investing. We can all do it. You just got to get started. With that, this is Donny Corum, your Foreclosure Deals Coach, reminding you now and always, don't you dare buy a house, buy a deal.
I like that.
Want more more of the Foreclosure Deals Coach? Hit subscribe and stay tuned for more of the mindset, methodology, and tools you'll need to invest in foreclosures. Visit foreclosuredealscoach.com and text DEAL to get a list of foreclosures in your area.